The world watched for a mushroom cloud and missed the real trigger. Was the nuclear umbrella a signal, not a pledge? Or did Doha really change everything? Maybe not the way you think. At the White House, Trump branded a 20-point Gaza plan, eternal peace. Is it a real path to peace, or a master political trap by Netanyahu to win back global support, demolish Hamas, and reshape the Middle East? A grand illusion. Eternal peace abroad, war from within at home. When a US president treats Gaza as peace theater and Chicago and San Francisco as potential battlefields, what does that do to US credibility overseas? Is the Gaza plan, or invading Chicago, a dead cat strategy? Netanyahu told US influencers, algorithms are weapons, TikTok the most important purchase, and Musk a friend. As Responsible Statecraft reported that Israel is paying influencers $7,000 per post. Now connect the dots and step back to the Saudi-Pakistan Defense Pact. Talk of nukes was theater, a signal, not a pledge. A political message with a nuclear shadow that buys shelter without treaties. As Pakistani channels boasted, they could defend the holy cities of Makkah and Medina at any cost. Against annexations and the reported Greater Israel idea, the Doha strike and Gulf vulnerabilities, this looked like a masterstroke, rattling India and making Israel take notice. A deeper read shows this pact compresses the first 3 rungs of escalation and punctures the Islamic NATO frame. Some analysts dub it a global South security template as US credibility phrase. Soon after, Trump finally granted Qatar a NATO's Article 5-style security guarantee to recalibrate US influence in the region. Ambiguity as strategy. Pakistan's defense minister told AP Pakistan's nuclear capability will be made available to Saudi Arabia if needed. Backtracking a day later, he was quoted by Reuters. Nukes were not on the radar. Denial appears to be a doctrine. Analyst opinion. Saudi analyst Ali Shihabi, known to be close to the royal court, told AFP that for Riyadh, nuclear is an integral part of this agreement. Skeptics take. Dr. Rabia Akhtar, writing for the Harvard Belfer Center, dismisses the pact as a formalization, not a transformation, arguing the official text sticks to generalities on strengthening joint deterrence and does not mention nukes. Is denial a critical part of the doctrine? For Beijing, this is a strategic win, a new security layer protecting the CPEC corridor and furthering a multipolar world. This is not a pact, it's a prenup. And The Economist named the price with a slug too provocative to ignore. Rent a bomb. Riyadh buys conventional cover. Islamabad reshapes a rival's nuclear calculus without moving warheads. Counterpoint. Chatham House notes no explicit nuclear clause. Intent not equal to doctrine. The question no one dares spell out. Has Pakistan actually extended its nuclear umbrella to Riyadh? And who joins next? Qatar, Bangladesh, Indonesia, another country? And what about the support for Trump's Gaza plan? Not just that Palestinians suffering genocide, according to B'Tselem, UN, IAGS, Amnesty have been sidelined from the process, but there are many red flags, according to critics. A hard clock is running. Trump gave Hamas 3 to 4 days to respond. A source close to Hamas told Reuters the plan was completely biased to Israel and imposed impossible conditions. But Hamas is in a very tight spot. US public opinion shapes power. The data is stark. The US consensus on aid and support for Israel is also gradually collapsing. Despite official denials and a high-intensity public diplomacy push through Hasbara, public opinion, especially in the US, flipped the incentives as Netanyahu's political ambition and expansion plan collide with shifting US signals on the West Bank. President Trump first declared at the Oval Office, "I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank." Day later, he added, Israel has accepted his Gaza peace plan. The scandal of the lie, Trump sold the Gaza deal as paving the way for Palestinian self-determination. Hours later, Netanyahu publicly killed it, saying, "In no way would this pave the way toward Palestinian statehood." Later that evening, an Israeli general reiterated the same to British media in a Channel 4 interview. The deal is already built on a lie, leaving Arab partners furious. Trump's message to Hamas was clear: accept his proposal as is, or Netanyahu has Washington's full backing to finish the job. Hamas responded they were not consulted or received the proposal, but will review soon. But Israeli supporters hit back on social media. Losers do not decide the terms, accept what Israel has agreed, or die and pay in hell. At the UN, the US and Israel looked isolated. Headlines in Israeli and US media frame Israel's isolation as deepening, even as the White House pushes a ceasefire track via Witkoff. 3 falsification tests. 1. No nuclear spike in crises. 2. GCC early warning uptime improves. 3. Riyadh-Tehran hotline stays warm. Next, from battlefields to courtrooms, the legal earthquake. The fight has diversified, from battle damage to legal damage. A legal moral earthquake. After years of disputes and whataboutery, 3 pillars of authority now align in public view. The UN Commission of Inquiry, Israel's own human rights group, B'Tselem, supported by Israeli physicians, and the International Association of Genocide Scholars, IAGS. The IAGS, founded in 1994 and rooted in Holocaust studies, is the premier global network singularly focused on fulfilling the promise of never again. The final verdict is clear. B'Tselem, joined by Israeli physicians, titled their report Our Genocide. The UN's COI found genocide, and the premier global network of scholars, the IAGS, passed a genocide resolution. Israel rejected UNCOI findings.
The International Association of Genocide Scholars has passed a resolution declaring that Israel's policies and actions in Gaza meet the legal definition of genocide as found in the Genocide Convention.
vs the world, the US stands alone against 81% of the planet. 2025 saw an unprecedented wave of recognition for Palestinian state, notably the UK and France, among others including Portugal, Belgium, Luxembourg, Malta. 157 of 193 UN member states, 81% of the world, now recognize Palestine, yet the United States still blocks Palestine's full UN membership. For the hostage families, both Israelis and Palestinians, the time for diplomacy is running out. We hear their fear. We know that every day that passes, the chaos in Gaza may cause us to lose the hostages and innocent Palestinians forever. The Arab/Muslim coalition's unified pressure has already yielded results. Arab officials highlighted the danger of annexation of the West Bank, and the Trump administration responded by telling Israeli allies that West Bank annexation was a red line which could not be crossed.
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank.
The reveal, the promise of an Israeli troop withdrawal, is an illusion. An Israeli General Amir Avivi confirmed to media the final step is a retreat to a security buffer zone, a line that allows Israel to permanently control the borders and a key corridor. The reality, Israel never truly leaves. Human Rights Watch now slams the US, warning officials and military personnel could face legal liability for aiding Israeli war crimes. Global recognition packages for Palestine typically exclude Hamas, boost the Palestinian Authority, PA, to open embassies, trade, and affirm their legal standing. And historical reporting by the New York Times and Times of Israel revealed a shocking truth. For years, Israel had quietly propped up Hamas to keep the Palestinian Authority weak, the war on body fat, the bizarre pivot, or a dead cat strategy. While the global geopolitical chessboard was being reset, a bizarre story unfolded in Washington. Trump and his Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, summoned hundreds of generals back to a military base to tell them about body fat and to invade San Francisco and Chicago. They weren't there to discuss Gaza or the pact. Instead, Hegseth spent the time talking about the general's body fat and the need to be fit, not fat, telling the military leadership they had to deal with their body weight. Reports confirmed Israel struck 6 countries in rapid succession: Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, Tunisia, Qatar, Iraq, a massive unchecked cross-border spree that shocked global capitals. In that environment, the Saudi-Pakistan strategic pact emerged. It's a direct signal. Unchecked cross-border strikes will now trigger a unified political and legal defense. The lesson is clear. Post-Doha, the Gulf felt exposed. The Saudi-Pakistan pact is strategic. Unity is the new baseline against impunity. One sentence to carry you to the end. 2 capitals, 1 red line. The takeaway, a pact priced as shelter can become a fuse. And markets, insurers, and misinformation are the sparks. This is not just geopolitics. This is the new cost of war. If this helped, please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to check out our other videos. I'm Mac, this is Makaverse. Thanks for watching.